Today we're going to do the Metropolis Rule Guide. Hello and welcome! Today is your lucky day. A new, uninhabited island was discovered, and your empire has chosen you to colonize it. But you're not the only colonizer. No, not at all. Rival empires are also trying to conquer this land. Now you must conquer it first. Will you be the one to make a bustling metropolis, or will your empire lose yet another territory to its rivals? Okay, so the objective of this game is by being the first player to get 2,000 gold. So the setups. Each player starts the game with a neighborhood token and 100 gold, as well as one of each resource card. Put each upgrade card pile face up next to the board. Each player places their neighborhood token, which again, if you buy the game, and you'll see the physical rule guide, it has a description of all of the things that I'm talking about. Put each upgrade pile face up next to the board. Each player places their neighborhood token on any square on the board and puts 5 resource chips on the troop's resource card. At the beginning of your turn, you must pay the upkeep costs for all of your upgrades. That is something that I'm going to explain later. Upgrades are something I'll explain later. If you can't pay an upgrade's upkeep cost, that card becomes a wreck. You do not collect resources from upgrades that are wrecks. However, don't worry. For at the start of any turn, you may pay 5 gold plus that card's upkeep cost to rebuild it. When you rebuild a card, that card is no longer a wreck, and you may collect from it once more. After paying upkeep cost, you have to roll 2 dice. If you roll a 1 to 3, you collect half the amount of each resource you would collect this turn, rounded down. If you roll a 4 to a 9, you collect 1 of each resource you would receive this turn. If you roll a 10 to 12, you get 2 of each resources you would receive this turn. Now, let's go into what resources are. At the start of each turn, check the colors of each square that contains a neighborhood or city you own. Add 1 of each resource. If that color is on the same square as your neighborhood, for example, gold is if you are on a yellow square, troops, red, agriculture, green, fish, blue, and building, gray. Some cards give multipliers to a given resource. If you are on a square with that resource, then you'll collect twice as much for each square that you have. Okay. After collecting resources, continue your turn. By constructing, trade. To upgrade, you must pay 20 gold. Then you may pay 20 gold for each upgrade you have that shares a color with it. Once you buy an upgrade, it lasts indefinitely. You may now have no more than 2 upgrades for each neighborhood and 3 for each city you control. Any resource may be sold to any other player for any price, but here are the amounts that you may buy or sell them to the wider worlds, selling them to the bank. 4. 2 fish is 15 gold, 3 building is 20 gold, and 4 agriculture is 30 gold. When you buy resources from the bank, you must pay an import tax of 10 gold to the bank. You may not buy troops. If you wish to, you may sell your resources to the bank. You must first find a water route from your square to the ocean entrances, a square where the ocean meets the rivers. If an opponent has a city or neighborhood on a square in your route, they may charge a fee. This can be any amount. If you do not pay this fee, you may not continue on that route and must find a new route to the ocean. So before you do the things I told you about earlier when it comes to resource collection and rolling dice, you actually have a phase called the military phase, during which you may either collect a troop or you may attack one neighborhood or city. Now this is before you roll and get all your benefits and stuff. So what happens if you attack? If you attack, the player who controls the construction you are attacking may defend with any number of their troops. Attacking occurs as follows. If both the defender and attackers still have troops, each player rolls a die. Then whoever rolled lower loses a troop. If a tie is rolled this way, it counts as a win for the attacker. Repeat this process until one player no longer has any troops in the fight, or a side withdraws. At any point in the battle, a side may withdraw from the fight. If the attacker withdraws withdraws, the defender keeps the city. If the defender withdraws, the attacker takes the city. Whoever ends the fight with troops gets the city. You may not fight for a player's neighborhood or city if that player has only one neighborhood or city left. So you obviously can't take their last neighborhood or city. Okay. Now, there's a concept called drafting when you're getting attacked. If an opponent attacks a city or neighborhood you control, you may pay 10 gold to draft any number of your people tokens, which I'll explain to you later, and have them defend the area. After the fight is over, any surviving people tokens return to their previous industry. Again, I'll talk about it later. Only the defender may draft their people tokens. Construction. You may construct only at the end of each turn, and you may decide what to construct as long as you have the required resources. Now, these are different from upgrades, because upgrades, you hold them, and they apply to all your neighborhoods and cities. This, however, goes on the board, and these go on the board, and these are what you collect resources from. So for neighborhoods, it costs 75 gold, and they need to either be next to a city, which I'll get to later, or a road, which I'll get to later. You collect resources exactly as I said earlier. One resource for every color on that neighborhood square, and one resource of that type. And you may only, cities, 100 gold, plus a neighborhood you want to transform. Collect one of each resource you'd like to collect from this square, plus one of each resource. So rather than collecting one, you'd collect two if you were on agriculture, let's say if you were on an agriculture square. Roads. These allow you to build settlements on squares adjacent. They cost 10 gold. They're just a cheap way of moving and connecting your settlements, or making settlements. When you build constructions, put them in the middle of the square. You may not build a construction if there is a construction on that square. Now, finally, what are these population things? Some upgrades, like the tavern card, allow you to gain people tokens. People tokens can be placed on an upgrade that has a multiplier. That gives the upgrade +1 to each multiplier it has. For example, Barn is an upgrade that gives 2 times agriculture. If Barn has a people token, instead it gives 3 times agriculture. If Barn has two people tokens, it grants 4, and so on. Thank you. I hope you understand these rules, and I hope you have a great time playing Metropolis.